Hey guys, Brian Cade here with Cade Fit, the Fitness and Self-Development Center, where I help people get more out of their bodies and more out of their lives. Do you feel like you have just bad shoulders that you're gonna have to live with the aches and pains because of your age or because of all the abuse you took in sports? Or maybe you feel like you've done all the physical therapy exercises, you've done the rotator cuff things, and yeah, you just gotta get stronger, but it still aches consistently. Or maybe you've started a new activity and you now blame that activity on your shoulders hurting. I can tell you it's not your shoulders that's the cause of the pain. And first off, I want to invite you out to our mastery session, which is going to be on healthy shoulders and the barbell press. I'm going to teach you key exercises to get your shoulders moving the way they should, and a great exercise to develop the shoulders and the strength inside of it. So that's going to be July 15th at 4 p.m. I'd love to see you guys there. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the key elements of healthy shoulder. And I get it, it's frustrating. We start doing these things that we want to do or know we should do, and our body hurts and it can't do what it wants. I've had a shoulder that for the longest time just felt off, and no matter what I did, I couldn't get it to fix. It just ached after shoulders and bench press and all those exercises that regularly aggravated it. Or if I squatted wrong and the bar was in the weird position. And what was even more frustrating was I had studied tons of corrective exercises designed to get my shoulders to function the way it should. I did the external and internal rotation exercises, cross-body patterning and PNF, which is basically a pattern to reset the muscles. And I've done all the lower trap and mid-trap work and the serratus anterior work to get the shoulders to function the way they're designed to, and it didn't help. And what I've come to realize as I look at the bigger picture, there's far more to the shoulder than we realize. There's so many different elements. And as I've added those pieces in, that's how my shoulders are to the point that they don't hurt anymore. And I can move well and the shoulders feel great. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the big picture concepts that is holding your shoulder function back. So in today's video, we're going to cover 5 elements. So element 1 is that it's not your shoulder that's causing your pain. Yes, it shows up in the shoulder, but rarely is the place of injury the cause of the pain. It usually happens somewhere else in the body. So don't think it's the activity or a specific thing that you're doing. It's that you're not using your shoulders the way they're designed to. If you think about it, your day-to-day life is in a 3 to 4 foot box. You're reaching up for something on a shelf, you're driving, you're texting, emailing, whatever it is, reaching for a phone. Your shoulders are in this position. They're designed to move up, reach back, twist, rotate, out for balance, overhead, turning, twisting, all of that. In your day-to-day life, you're not doing it. So now, because they're not worked the way they're supposed to, and all the muscles that are designed to do all those movements haven't been working, now we're like, let's throw something, or let's lift weights, and they haven't gone overhead in years because they've been stuck in this box. So it's not the new activity you've tried. It's that your body's not prepared and doesn't have the same motion that you had in the past when we were using it, maybe growing up. Even now, though, the way our kids are growing up and learning and moving, they're not getting enough complete activity as well. So it's your whole movement, not just because you're using your shoulders, that's the reason the shoulders hurt. Element number 2 is you have to have good breathing function to have healthy shoulder movement. We don't think about it, but our breathing plays a huge part. And it does for several reasons. The first one is when you breathe through the chest, and you might be thinking, hey, I breathe all day. I do it every day, all day. I do it at night. Unless you have sleep apnea, you might not be doing it so well. But for the most part, you're like, I breathe all the time. But we're not breathing with our diaphragm. That is the main muscle that we use for breathing. But with our constant life where we're stressed and we start breathing through our chest, or because we're sucking in our stomach all the time to make ourselves look good at the beach, we're not using our diaphragm. And what happens is we start using the accessory muscles like the pec minor that pulls the shoulders down and our scalenes that pull in here. You're tightening all those muscles, and because your breathing isn't the way it's designed, your body has to find a way to do it anyways. And you're creating stiffness and tightness in the shoulder joint just because of the way you breathe. And the other thing is that when you do diaphragmatic breathing, nice relaxed breathing into the belly, your belly should rise and come out as you breathe in. It allows your body to relax. It allows the posture to reset. It allows the muscles to work the way they're supposed to again. And unless you address this piece and change your breathing patterns and become more conscious of it, your shoulder function is never going to be what it could. Element 3 is the spine. We don't talk about the spine when we talk about shoulder function, but the spine and rib cage is where the shoulders set. So if your spine is collapsing forward, I can only reach this high. You're not going to get full shoulder function. You're not going to be able to do all the things you want to. This is as high as it gets. If you can extend and open up, you're going to be able to reach much higher. For me, this was actually my major issue, the reason why my shoulders never felt like I wanted them to, even though I was doing all the exercises for the shoulder joint, is because my right side was collapsed and down, and it can't set where it wants to. If you look, it's collapsed and tilted forward. If all I do is extend my spine and fully straighten and get that muscle to work, it rides in the position it's designed to. So in our mastery session, we're going to be covering ways to get your spine realigned and move the way it's designed to. But if you don't address the neck and the upper thoracic spine and the way it's positioned or any rotation dysfunction, you're not going to get full shoulder function.
Also, with the spine, you actually need to start looking at the hips, because if one hip is higher than the other for any reason, it's going to affect the whole way up the spine and affect that shoulder as well. So you want to make sure that both hips are even. Chiropractic and then different muscle activation techniques we have can help bring that to level. Element number 4 is start with the scapula. Most of us start working on internal rotation, external rotation, and that's the glenohumeral joint only. You actually want to start at the scapula. If the scapula don't move, they should rotate, they should tilt forward and back, they should fold in and out. If they can't do all those movements, it doesn't matter what you do with internal and external rotation, it's not going to work the way it's designed. You need the shoulders to upward rotate and move with the arm to actually get proper movement. And a lot of times we don't train that. So you need serratus anterior work. And if any of these you're not sure about, please, like I said, come to our mastery session. I'm going to be showing you exercises for this. So, like I said, make sure you're looking at the whole shoulder complex, doing things like lower trap raises, doing things like serratus wall slides, and you'll be able to start getting more movement in that scapula, which will take stress off that shoulder joint. Element number 5, use the shoulder joint as a whole unit. You can't strengthen one piece or the other and not get all of them to work. When you try to isolate and you don't use it together, you're strengthening certain pieces and going to increase your dysfunction. Remember, the joint moves as a whole. Here, I'm getting the scapula to move, I'm getting external rotation, I'm doing all that at one time. That's why the cross-body patterns are so good for reintegrating shoulder function. And the other piece of this is, remember, if you're doing all the other pieces, your shoulders are probably going to come back to normal function, and you might not need to do internal rotation. You might not need to do as many isolated exercises, if any, because the body can now move the way it was designed because it's more back in a neutral position. So I hope that helps. Those are the 5 elements. And once you start integrating those and doing your breathing and your spine and hips, scapular training, and realize that it's not your history, your age, it's not the activities that you did that's causing your pain now, it's that your body's not used to proper movement. Once you get those back in play, your shoulder's going to be feeling great. Once again, I'd like to see you at our mastery session July 15th. And if this helped any of you, please share it with a friend. You know someone who has aching shoulders, please invite them out. We'd love to help them, see what we can do. Once you get stronger, life gets easier.